You've tuned in to the 49ers Rush podcast, and here is your host, John Chapman.
Welcome, 49ers fans. If you are listening, I wish I could jump through your speakers and give you a hug, because that's what you deserve. The 49ers lose a heartbreaker, 18-15 against the Cardinals. We were swept by the Cardinals this year. They beat us 2 games. Their only 2 wins have been against us. And this is where we are. Very, very close game. A game we were in control of pretty much the entire time until the very last drive. And I just want to let you know, first off, I just want to say thanks to everybody for listening. We've been around for a while. This one might go a little off script, and I might do some venting of my own. So I apologize for any choice words up front. We are going to break down the offense, the defense, and more importantly, the coaching staff. Both sides. This is going to be no holds barred. There are some positives to take away from this game, but man, there are a hell of a lot of negatives. So stay with us, and we're going to go through, like I said, offense and defense and stats and scheduling, and now we got to start talking about the draft. I usually wait until January to start my draft breakdown process. I usually do a little over 150 draft profiles myself, where I watch at least 3 full game films of every single prospect and rank them out into a big board and all that stuff. I've already started, and it is still October, so you're going to get a lot of in-depth draft coverage from the 49ers Rush podcast this year, I'll tell you that. So let's jump in there. We lose this game, and we lose in the worst way possible. We have lost 8 straight to the Cardinals, which is just baffling when you step back and look at how bad they have been recently. We have the longest losing streak in the entire NFL right now, and we are one of 3 teams in the NFL to only have 1 win. And guess what, guys? We play both those 2 teams next. The road for the first overall pick is paved through San Francisco. Our next 2 matchups, and the funny thing is, with 3 wins combined between the Raiders, the Giants, and the 49ers, they're both primetime games. So our next game upcoming is at home versus Oakland, and that's Thursday Night Football. So that's going to be on Fox, on the NFL Network for the entire world to see. And then right after that, we got a Monday night matchup against the New York Giants with 1 win as well. So back-to-back primetime games, but I hope you enjoy it because it's going to be the last ones we got. So there is a Seattle game that is Sunday night, December 2nd, but that's going to be flexed out. I'm telling you right now, they are going to flex that bad boy out. We will be playing Sunday afternoon that week instead, but we've got 2 winnable games and then a bye week, and I don't know, man. I do not, as a former coach and player myself, I do not believe in tanking for draft picks. I understand the logic, but my emotions and my competitive whatever, I want to win every freaking snap. I hope that our team embodies that. We are a fighting team, and Sherman got up there afterwards in his press conference today and basically said, if you could take anything away from this, it's that we're going to keep fighting. And maybe that's the only thing we learned from this experience and all these losses, but we are fighters, and we're going to fight till the end. So that's what it is. Let's talk about offense and injuries. Man, we had a whole lot of injuries take place. Tart, his shoulder started to affect him. He missed a couple plays, came back in, then got hurt again. Exum came in, then he got hurt. He got a concussion. Then Powell came in. If you want to know how this game went, that is exactly how it went. Reuben Foster left with a hamstring, wasn't his shoulder. Came back in the second half, then left. It looked like he could have played, but they kept him out. Witherspoon left. Forrest Moore came out. Then Witherspoon came back. Mostert got rolled up, hurt his leg. Breida hurt his ankle again for the 5th consecutive game. This is who we are. We are a banged up, the most injured team in the entire NFL, but that can't be an excuse. It really can't. Everybody goes through injuries. We did not lose this game because of injuries. We lost this game because of coaching. That's just the reality of the situation. This was all coaching. So, offensively, we had 12 drives throughout the entire game, and this will let you know this is one of the reasons why we lost. Our defense did a good enough job to put us in position to win, and here's what you do as a coach. You sit down and you say, what are our goals going into this game? And if I was to script out what we were supposed to do, it would be win the turnover battle, have more sacks than they do, and if we do those two things, add on to that penalties, we will win this game. They are a bad football team, the Arizona Cardinals, and we did all three of those things, yet still found a way to lose. We have not won the turnover battle at any point this season. This is our first time, and we still lost 2-0. You know, we got an interception and we got a fumble and still lost. And it seemed like the basic idea was, hey, CJ, you've been turning the ball over and getting sacked like crazy. Let's get rid of those. And if you do that, you don't have to do much. You just won't lose us the game. It seemed like the right philosophy. It just didn't work at the end. So let's go through these drives. First drive right off the bat, 3 and out, and we punted. To start the game, we wasted a timeout on third down because they were confused in the huddle. C.J. Beathard took a sack after 4.5 seconds. He doesn't move in the pocket, and he doesn't make quick reads, which is a recipe for disaster. Second drive, punt after 3 first downs. Took another sack to end the drive. Third drive, 3 and out punt. Sacked on CJ again after over 4+ seconds. He doesn't move around. He doesn't make quick reads. Fourth drive, punt. First 4 drives of the game are just absolute wasted. Fifth drive, we get a field goal, and that was because of our defense. That was off of the Jaquiski Tart interception. You know, we had a short field. We didn't get any first downs. We didn't do anything in the red zone. They gift drafted it to us, and all we could do is take away a field goal. This is who we were on this. We were 0-2 in the red zone, and that's not – you can't win games like that. You just can't. Next up, it was halftime. We had 3 runs up the middle as time expired. We only had about 20 seconds on the clock. It was weird. Arizona kept taking timeouts. They didn't have enough timeouts to get the ball back, but it was just kind of like a middle finger to Coach Shanahan, it seemed like. Right out of halftime, we come out, punt. Terrible pass on 3rd and 4 with a perfect pocket and no pressure whatsoever. Our offensive line played great. They really, really did. They were blitzing 5 to 7 guys on every single play. CJ just couldn't make the adjustments. He couldn't do it. 8th drive, finally, we get a touchdown pass to Goodwin. It was a slant route on 3rd down, and he took it 55 yards to the house. You got to get that guy the ball more often. I don't understand. I understand Patrick Peterson is one of the best in the NFL. There's no problem with that. But getting Marquise Goodwin only 4 targets in this game, and he only had 1 catch, that's just pathetic. Kendrick Bourne got 10 targets in this game. That's not okay. He played really well, and Kendrick Bourne blocks well. But if you want to know why we're not scoring points, we have electric people in this offense, and we're not getting them the ball. People like Marquise Goodwin. Kittle should have had more targets. Kyle Juszczyk. Dante Pettis, he got out there. He had 1 target, and they took him off. And it seemed like they were fine with Kendrick Bourne being out there. He might be a better blocker. He's been healthier, whatever. But when you are failing to put up points and the only touchdown you score is because a guy has just God-gifted speed and runs like a 4.2, you can't put possession receivers out there at all times and that guy leads you in targets, Kendrick Bourne. He played well, and I don't have a problem with him. I love the way he plays. But when you have C.J. Beathard back there and this is your game plan, you got to have playmakers. You traded up for a reason for Dante Pettis. He's healthy for a reason. He's not on the injury report. Get him out there. After that, keep going. Field goal, 20 yards after a very long drive. The 8th and 9th drive were who we are, and after that it was just trash. Punt on the 10th drive, 11th drive. Punt after a sack on an all-out blitz. I don't know how he couldn't see it. Everybody was on the line of scrimmage. You got to have some kind of a hot read. He didn't do it. 12th drive, 34 seconds on the 25-yard line, and we did nothing. This is the thing. We are second worst in the entire NFL in sacks allowed, only in front of the Cleveland Browns. This is the conversation we're having. We have an amazing offensive line. I don't think people understand how great they are. My MVP for the offense, it's McGlinchey. McGlinchey is lights out, the best offensive blocker we got. It doesn't matter if it's run game or if it's pass game. Mike McGlinchey should have been a top 5 pick. And if you read my redraft article for Eat Sleep Fantasy, it's up over there. I went through and redrafted the entire first round. I got McGlinchey going early. That guy is for real. He is amazing. And he's not the only one. Pearson, man, that right side of the offensive line is insane. I counted 4 pancake blocks by McGlinchey. I've only gone through the offensive film twice. I'll do a little bit more breakdown later on in the week, but it's a short week. We play this Thursday, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, do that. I will be breaking down some film and some coaching notes and all that at JL_Chapman, at JL_Chapman. Now, let's go through just some of the stat lines a little bit. CJ Beathard was absolutely abysmal. 14 of 28, 50% completion percentage for 190 yards. That's not okay. He took 4 sacks for 30 yards. So if you adjust that out, he's only got a positive 160 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and 83 passer rating, just to let you know where he's at. Offensively, running the ball was okay. We only averaged 3.5 yards per carry, which is very, very bad for us. We're right at the top of the entire NFL for that statistic, and it was rough. Breida's not healthy, but he got 16 carries for 42 yards. Morris looked terrible outside of one run. If you take away his best run, which was 26 yards, he was 5 rushes for 2 yards. Like, he had more negative rushes than he did positive. Raheem Mostert, 2 for 18. Wish we would have got the ball more to him instead of Mostert. Juszczyk, 2 for 10. And Beathard, 5 for 9. He's tough as hell, CJ is, but it's just not cutting it. You know, I talked about Kendrick Bourne, 7 catches, 71 yards on 10 targets. He did have a drop, but he played pretty well. Kittle, 5 for 57 on 8 targets. Goodwin, only 1 catch for 55 yards and a touchdown. Hello? Screens, jet sweeps, slants, figure something out. They were playing man coverage on the outside the whole game. They never played over the top cover 2, which is what they're kind of known for. They don't do that. They didn't do it. They just blitz. You got to change something. You're Kyle Shanahan. You're one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL. I believe he is definitely top 5. You got to make some in-game adjustments to make quicker reads and quit holding the ball so damn long all the freaking time. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. So let's jump over real quick and look at just some combined team stats as far as yards. We only had 16 first downs. That is not going to cut it. You could blame this on the offense, and you would be justified. You're right. You score 15 points, you should not expect to win a game in the NFL. However, without turning the ball over, all the things that we did with penalties and the defense forcing 2 turnovers, you should have won this damn game. But offensively, it just wasn't there. Only 16 first downs, like I said. We're 5 for 14 on third downs. That's abysmal. And we conceded a lot of drives where we would just go shallow, way short of the sticks, and just say punt to live another day. That's not okay. 160 yards passing is awful. 100 yards rushing is okay. It's not great. 5 for 59 on penalties. Nothing special there. Now, I want to take a second because I've told you guys we're giving away an autographed Frank Gore mini helmet. It is absolutely amazing. I just want to say thanks to our sponsors, Game Day Sports and Memorabilia. If Christmas is coming up, and if you did not plan ahead, like I never plan ahead for Christmas, sorry, wife, but if you want to get your kids something, or if you want something, just tell your wife, say, hey, man, don't call your wife man, first off, whatever you refer to your wife, sweetheart usually is appropriate. Head over to GameDaySportsMemorabilia.com, GameDaySportsMemorabilia.com, and tell her just to look up some 49er stuff. They've got so much stuff on there, jerseys, posters, cards, helmets, mini helmets, you name it, they got it. All the great 49er stuff is there. And what I want you to do is head over to my Twitter account, at JL_Chapman is my pinned tweet. Retweet. That's all you got to do. You're already listening to the podcast, and I appreciate it. Retweet that Frank Gore original tweet. It's the first one that's going to pull up, and you're entered into the contest to win that helmet for free. I'll send it to you. Won't cost you a penny. It is absolutely awesome. Again, that is Game Day Sports and Memorabilia. Thank you guys again for all of the support. Now, let's jump over to the other side. Defensively, oh boy. I loved our game plan going into this game. I have not been able to say that a lot because Robert Saleh, he needs to be fired as soon as possible. If you wanted to be pissed off at somebody and put it on anybody, our defensive coordinator has got to go. And here's why. We held the team to 18 points today. Why would you say fire the defensive coordinator whenever we're holding somebody to just 18 points? Here's why. 0 in-game adjustments. He doesn't do it. He doesn't know how to do it. I don't think that he watches what's happening out there and coaches on the fly. He doesn't do it. His entire mentality is, we'll fix it later, but that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. He made a couple adjustments at halftime, but here's what the problem is. They had to manufacture pressure. This has been our problem the entire season. You can't just bring 3 or 4 guys and expect to get to the quarterback with the talent we have. We have no edge presence whatsoever on the pass rush. So we start stunting, doing tackle in stunts and in tackle stunts where we're looping guys around, doing all that. Corner blitzes, bringing the linebacker, overload blitzes on the left side of the line, right side of the line, safety blitzes, nickel blitzes. We're doing all that, and it is working great until we get to the last drive of the game. Everything's on the line. They go on a 12-play, 74 drive with over 2 minutes left, and we didn't blitz one damn time against a rookie quarterback that is scared of pressure in Josh Rosen. What the hell? We go to a stupid prevent defense, and we don't even we spy with our nose tackle. We put Sheldon Day out there, who's one of the leading people on our defense for pressures, and we have him spy over the top of the center against Josh Rosen, who couldn't run away from anybody. I'm pretty sure Tom Brady is faster than Josh Rosen. This is absolutely insane. And it's not like if it was just 1 or 2 plays, I get it. It was a 12-play drive for 12 plays. And they constantly just picked us apart. Josh Rosen looked like the best quarterback I've ever seen that last drive, and we made 0 adjustments. Now, you could say, oh, well, we had 2 safeties out, and we had Powell in there. Really? Really? Powell has been with us for a very long time. And he was basically manned up on the 3rd wide receiver and or tight end several times over. If you are blitzing and he's in 0, if he doesn't understand things, 0, cover 0 where everybody's manned up because you're blitzing is the easiest coverage to understand. Somebody on Twitter said, well, you had backup safeties in there, so therefore you couldn't do the same stuff you've been planning. That is absolutely bullshit. That is so wrong. That's not true to football. The first coverage you ever learn as a football player is you guard him. That's easy. I have no clue how this guy is employed still. He has got to go. If you look at the talent that we have on defense, every single person has regressed from last year to this year. DeForest Buckner had the worst game of his entire career today. You have a defensive player of the year guy, and you've got him on the bench half the time, and he's not doing anything. And a lot of times you have him blitzing through the middle of the blocker to occupy the blocker. He's a penetrating 5-tech. Come on, man. He can play 3, he can play 5, he can do anything, but you're taking your best player out of the game. You're not putting people in a position of success. And it's just awful. We are taking horrible pursuit angles. Fred Warner came out first 2 to 3 games that he played in the NFL. He was just amazing. And then on top of that, what happens? His play goes down every week. You have him calling the defense a rookie, and he's overthinking everything. You have him playing 3 different linebacker spots all through training camp. He's overthinking everything. Turn this kid loose and let him play. Let somebody else call the defense and simplify things for him so he can react, just like he did weeks 1 and 2. This is so simple, and we're turning this into a very complex issue, and we're taking away the talent because when players have to sit there and think, they hesitate, they second guess, and it ruins everything. But whenever it's see ball, get ball, you are naturally able to do things. I keep seeing him take horrible pursuit angles, which I have never seen in his college film. And you could say something, you say, well, it's the people they're playing against. No, he was taking horrible pursuit angles against Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is nothing. That's the thing about this. As a defensive coordinator or just a coach in general, let me take a deep breath and kind of calm down a little bit. Your job is to put players in a position to be successful and to convince your players that they have an advantage because of the preparation and because of the scheme you are calling. We do not have that. We don't have it. Robert Saleh is he's a deficit to our defensive confidence. He's hurting people's career. He's got to go. And I think he's an awesome guy. I love his press conferences. His knowledge of football, I think, is great. No problem with all those things. I would love for him to stay on our staff, just not as a defensive coordinator. He has got to go. And I think this would be he's very young. He's got a knowledgeable, foothold, whatever. He's got to go. He's got to go. And he might be a great coach later on. This is unacceptable. I don't know. I don't know what else to say besides the fact this defensive coordinator is absolutely garbage. He's garbage. I really do believe he is one of the worst in the entire league. We've got to move on from that. So, having said all those things, man, that's intense. The defensive MVP, it's got to be Richard Sherman. The one thing that I can say is they were not scared to throw at Sherman. And they targeted him 5 times, and they caught 3 of them, which that's fine. He was on top of the play every single time, giving up 0 space, 7 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, had a pass deflection. I mean, this guy is unreal. He played very, very well. He wasn't a lockdown corner by any stretch, but he had perfect coverage nonstop. It doesn't matter if he's injured. That guy, Richard Sherman's amazing. He is absolutely amazing. Now let's go through the drives, because there is some good news. And again, like whenever you see how it started off and then how it went after that, it's easy to get pissed off. So sorry about that. I'll do some Hail Marys later. Here we go. First drive of the game, 3-and-out punt. Heck yeah, we're bringing pressure. We are blitzing. We're doing D-line stunts. It's amazing. Second drive, safety on an intentional grounding call. 4-man pressure. Cassius March gets the pressure. They do what's called a tackle-in stunt, and we're playing Solomon Thomas at the tackle. I've been complaining way more than I should about Solomon Thomas. I hate that he plays on the outside. He's completely ineffective out there and basically a complete waste. He's a run game liability because he doesn't play sound technique or keep outside contained really ever. But anyway, we line him up inside and we run what's called a tackle-in stunt, where the tackle penetrates straight up field as fast as he can, and Cassius March, who's on his left side, loops behind and then blitzes through that B gap. And he got to Josh Rosen for the intentional grounding. We start off with a safety. That is just amazing. Next drive, we give up a field goal after a very long drive. It was slow. It was methodical. That's okay. If you're going to allow a rookie quarterback to do that, that's the thing. You just don't want to give up the big play. Fourth drive, we get the interception by Tart off pressure. Amazing. Fifth drive, punt. Sack by Armstead on third down. Then it's halftime. We come out of halftime. 3-and-out punt. Stunt pressure by Blair. Man, Ronald Blair is playing lights out lately. He is unreal. He's what we want Solomon Thomas to be. If Solomon Thomas was doing the same thing as Ronald Blair, everybody would be buying Solomon Thomas jerseys, but he's not. Blair is unreal. That guy, he was my runner-up for MVP, and he has just been playing amazing. Seventh drive, punt. Eighth drive, punt. We're playing great. Then we give up a touchdown pass to Fitzgerald. We did a 4-man rush all this entire drive, and on third down after pressure is working all game, we go right back to this just 3 to 4-man pressure. And it doesn't work. We give up a touchdown. Next drive, we go back to 4-man pressure or 3-man pressure. They have a huge play up the sideline, and they fumble the ball. This is the one where Ward touched it out of bounds, but not really, and then they reviewed it, and we got the call. It was awesome. At that point, I was like, we got this game. All we got to do is run it out and play solid defense. We're going to be okay. But anyway, so we get the fumble. Then we come out, and guess what? They started on the 27 with 2 minutes, 16 seconds left and 1 timeout, and they abused the hell out of us. We never again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we bring 0 pressure. We move into a prevent defense, and man, Robert Saleh, you cost us this damn game. It pisses me off. But statistically speaking, we did a pretty good job overall on defense. Whenever you look at the numbers, you got to say, hey, yeah, we did pretty good. We did pretty good. But the things that we cannot do, I mean, we held them 6-14 on third down, which is great. We held them to 20 first downs. That's great. We held them to 321 yards. That's great. We even got some sacks, which is awesome. We got 4 sacks for 30 yards. That's great. But we didn't make plays when it mattered, and that's kind of what we need. And it's exactly what we need. So if the NFL draft was today, we would be picking first overall. We're definitely kind of in that top 3, top 5 category, even if we do straighten things up a little bit. I think that we have 3 winnable games in our future left on our schedule. That's about it. We don't have a whole bunch. We got the Raiders, we got the Giants, and we got the Bucs. Those are our next 3 games. Then after that, it gets pretty tough. At Seattle, Broncos, versus Seattle again, versus the Bears, at the Rams. So our next 3 games are the easiest games we got, and then we've got 5 to 6 tough games. So, in the best case scenario, we get to kind of that 4 wins, that 4-12 range. But, man, if we're going to be honest, you're kind of looking at a 2-14 or a 3-13 record. And so we will be picking high. So having said all those things, stay strong, faithful. I will be breaking down lots of draft stuff and still breaking down Niners film over on Twitter. Again, JL_Chapman. Really appreciate you guys. Y'all stay strong. And again, find somebody that you love and get a hug because, damn it, you deserve it. Stay strong, faithful.